All right, we're going to look at solving multi-step equations that have variables on both sides. So the way you're going to do this is you're going to have a goal, and that is to get the variable on one side of the equation and the numbers on the other side. And what we mean by the other side and the one side versus the other is that you want them on opposite sides of the equal sign. First thing you're going to look for to see is if you can combine any like terms, and if you can do that. Or if you have distributive property, which means you have parentheses, you would multiply and distribute first, and then you would combine like terms. Then after you do that step, you're going to add or subtract the numbers to move them to one side of the equal sign. Then you'll be left with a number times a variable equals a number, and then you're going to multiply or divide to get the variable by itself. So for example, you will wind up with x equals 5, and then you know you have solved your equation. You have to show every step that you are doing. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of problems, 4 in total, to show you how you would do this and all the work that is required for you to do this. Okay? So the first problem, write it down in your notebooks, is 5x plus 2 equals negative x plus 14. Okay, so here's our line that splits our equation right down where the equal sign is. We want to get variables on one side, numbers on the other. We typically like our variables to be on the left side. So I have 5x plus 2, and on this side I have negative x plus 14. So I'm going to move this x, this negative x, to the side with 5x. So I would add it because it's already a negative sign. So we do the opposite, so it looks like I'm adding x, and I would line it up under the 5x, and I would add those. 5x plus x is 6x. We still have plus 2. Bring down your equals. Negative x plus x is 0, so 0 it out. And this is a positive 14, so we can write that as 14. Next, we're going to take 6x plus 2 equals 14, and we're going to bring the numbers to this side because all our letters, all our variables are together right here in 6x, but our numbers are not. So we need to get those together. So we're going to subtract 2 on each side. 6x comes down. Positive 2 minus 2 is 0, so we lose that. Equals, and now we have 14 minus 2, which is 12. Now we're in the position where we have 6x equals 12. So 6 times x, so we're going to divide out by 6 on each side. 6 divided by 6 is 1, leaving us with 1x, or x. 12 divided by 6 is 2, and that's our answer. Now if you wanted to check yourself, you do a quick check. Take your 2 and substitute it in for x. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. So that's how it would be 12. Plug in x here. The opposite of 2 is negative 2, plus 14 would also be 12. So you can do some quick checks in your head right away. All right, next. Write this problem in your notebook. Negative 26 plus 5 minus 3k equals 18k. So we'll put our line down our equals to separate our two sides of our equation. And on this side we can see we have negative 26 plus 5, and they are like terms, so we're going to combine them. So that gives us, we have different signs, so we subtract. So 25 minus 5 is 21. And we keep the negative sign because we have more negatives than positives. So negative 21, bring down the minus 3k, bring down your equals, and bring down 18k. All right, now, I know we like to have our variables on the right-hand side, but as you can see, all our numbers are combined here, and we have 2k's terms left over. So if we bring the 3k to the right side, it's not what we love to do, but we can. We have to be flexible. Then we can gather all our k's on the left. So if we add 3k, and we add 3k, and I'm doing that because this says minus 3k, then we're left with negative 21. Negative 3k plus 3k is 0. And that's the whole purpose of doing this, is it goes away. And now we have 18k plus 3k is 21k. All right, and we have to solve for k. Now k is on the right-hand side, but you still have to divide by what's next to k. And what's next to k is 21. And we're going to do that on both sides. Now we calculate a negative divided by a positive is a negative. 21 divided by 21 is 1, so that comes out to negative 1. 21 divided by 21 is 1, so that leaves us with 1k, or just k. So if negative 1 equals k, you can then say k equals negative 21. I'm sorry, negative 1. All right, so be a little flexible in where your variables are, because sometimes you don't want to move them over to your left side, because then you'll have them together with your numbers and you wouldn't be able to solve them unless you remember to bring your number over. So be a little flexible. Look at where you have your k's, look at where you have your numbers all combined, and bring things to the appropriate side. All right, next up is a distributing problem. Negative 18 minus 6k equals 6 times the quantity of 1 plus 3k. So first we're going to do is look for combining, and we have nothing on the left-hand side to combine. Negative 18 and a negative 6k are not like terms. And on the right side we have distributive property. All right, so we have 6 times a quantity, so we'll do that. So let's bring down negative 18 minus 6k equals 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times the positive 3k is plus or positive 18k, so it comes out as plus 18k. And now we're in a position again where we can bring our numbers to one side, letters to the other. Now again, we do like our letters to be on this side, our variables to be on the left side, and our numbers to be on the right. So we can do that here because we have the flexibility in where we want to bring things. We have numbers to bring over, we have variables to bring over. So let's bring over the 18k. So since it's added, we'll subtract. Line it up under the minus 6k. And let's go for it. Negative 18 comes down. Now cover that up. Negative 6 minus 18. Same signs, we're going to add them. So 6 plus 18 is 24. Keep the sign, so minus, and keep k. Equals 6 comes down. Positive 18k minus 18k is 0, so it's gone. All right, so now we're left with negative 18 minus 24k equals 6. So all our k's are together right here on the left-hand side. We're going to leave them there. So we're going to get that negative 18 and bring it to the right-hand side. So since it's negative 18, we do the opposite of it, and we bring it over to this side. Now again, if you're having trouble with where you should bring things, you can draw your lines down to separate your equation into parts. Negative 18 plus 18 is 0. That is a negative 24k, so bring that down. Equals 6 plus 18 is 24. All right, and now we're in a position to divide out by what's next to k. So negative 24k gets divided by negative 24 on both sides. That becomes 1, so k equals a positive divided by a negative is a negative answer. 24 divided by 24 is 1. So k equals negative 1. And the last problem, 5n plus 34 equals negative 2 times the quantity 1 minus 7n. Again here, nothing to combine on the right, distributing on the left. So we rewrite the right-hand side and bring down 5n plus 34 equals negative 2 times positive 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 times a negative 7n is positive 14n. All right, we have the liberty to bring variables to one side and numbers to the other because we have variables and numbers on both sides. So this time I'm going to bring the 5n to the right-hand side. Just to show you that you can be flexible. It's okay to have your variable all together on the right-hand side. So 5n minus 5n is 0. Bring down the positive 34. If you want to put a little positive sign there, that's fine. Equals, bring down the negative 2 and cover up, and we get positive 14 minus 5 is a positive 9 and n. So now you can see all my variables are together on the right hand side, and I got some numbers on the left, some on the right, so I got to bring my numbers from the right to the left. So I'm going to add 2, and that's because that's a negative 2, so we do the opposite. 34 plus 2 is 36. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. Positive 9 comes down with the n. All right, remember you are dividing by what is next to the variable to get the answer for the variable. So it's 9n, so we're going to divide out the 9 on both sides. 36 divided by 9 is 4. 9 divided by 9 is 1, and that gives me n. So 4 equals n, or you can say n equals 4 if you want to turn it around at that point. And this is how you work multi-step equations that have some combining like terms, have some distributing property, and where we have variables on both sides.